The summons came on the wind, a thrum of power so deep it rattled the stained glass of the scriptorium and sent my fellow acolytes scattering. Only I, Elara, remained. My ink-smudged fingers froze over a chart of draconic lineages. I was a name-giver, a scholar of the old tongue, tasked with bestowing honorifics upon the great dragons. It was a life of quiet, distant respect, until now. This summons was not for a new clutch of drakes, it was for me. And it came from the obsidian roost, fortress of Calentrak, the unburnt, and his clutch brother, Zeoxythian, known to the locals with blasphemous familiarity as Sparky. My journey to their peak was a pilgrimage of terror. The air grew thin, sharp with the scent of ozone and pine. When I finally stumbled into their lair, the sheer scale of it stole my breath. It was a geode cathedral, veins of raw amethyst and gold glittering in the ambient heat. The warmth was a living thing, shimmering in the air, wrapping around me like a heavy blanket that promised to either comfort or smother. And there they were. Calentrak was a creature of midnight and magma, his obsidian scales swallowing the light. Smoke curled from his nostrils, and he was the very picture of coiled, silent power. His title, the Unburnt, was a name of absolute strength. Beside him, Zeoxythian was a tempestuous sunset of bronze and gold. A current of static electricity crackled around him, making the fine hairs on my arms stand on end. His intelligence was a palpable, unnerving force, far more intimidating than his brother's stoicism. The name-giver arrives, Calentrak's voice rumbled, a vibration that resonated deep in my bones, in the very marrow. She is smaller than I imagined, Zeoxythian purred, his voice a silken rasp of dangerous amusement. He uncoiled, his golden eyes pinning me to the spot. And she smells of parchment and honeyed tea, a welcome change. I clutched my satchel and bowed. Lord Calentrak, Lord Zeoxythian, I am Elara, I came as you commanded. Calentrak shifted his massive head, the displaced air whipping my hair across my face. We did not command, little scholar, we invited. An invitation with the weight of a mountain, my lord, I replied, my voice betraying a slight tremor. A low chuckle escaped Zeoxythian. She has a spine. He slithered closer, and the heat radiating from his scales washed over me. It was not a burning heat, but a deep, permeating warmth that sank into my skin, making my pulse hammer in my throat and a flush creep up my neck. We have a task for you, Elara, but not to name some squawking whelp. I looked between them, my courage fraying. Then, why am I here? Calentrak's gaze was so intense I felt it as a physical pressure against my soul. He looked at me not as a craftsman, but as something to be appraised, possessed. For generations, your line has given us our public faces. The Unburnt, Sparky, he gave a smoky snort, but the first name givers did not merely bestow titles, they bound them. A cold dread trickled down my spine. I don't understand. Zeoxythian was now circling me, a gilded predator. The connection between our kinds has faded, Elara. We summoned you to see if the resonance was lost for good. Calentrak lowered his great head until his obsidian snout was inches from my face. I saw the world's core reflected in his fathomless eyes. His voice dropped to a murmur meant only for me. We have been waiting, not for a new name. His gaze swept over me, possessive and absolute. We have been waiting for you. He extended a colossal, knife-sharp talon and with impossible gentleness grazed it against my hand. A shock white-hot and blinding arced from his claw to my soul, and a word I had never heard bloomed like fire in my mind. Mine.
Want to keep the flame ignited without having to wait for the next part? You can find the full, tantalizing tale on our main page. See the link in the description.